Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can and can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
And good morning, Fred. You know, I think I might rather be fishing today too. You know, it's a little chilly outside in Florida. I think we're in the 50s right now. It's football weather. Yeah, it's 51 degrees down here in Florida. It is football weather. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully we'll get a Joe here soon, maybe a Broski or a Woody. Ken is still out. We've got some family issues he's dealing with, so hopefully all will work out well and he'll be back soon. But we have a big game tonight. We got the Detroit Lions hosting. Thank you. In a whiteout game. We're wearing the all whites today against the Dallas Cowgirls boys, one-star rating system, whatever you want to call them. Huge game, massive playoff implications. This is going to be a big one. And then we got that followed up by War Week in a couple divisions this weekend. There huge games. So a lot of good football to watch this week. I'm looking forward to it. How's that, Fred? Is that better? See, it's better when I move the mic towards me versus having it at the other end of the desk. Yeah. You know, look, man, I'm like 5 sips into my coffee. So we got the Lions at the ones with hosting the one-star rating system today. The Lions in the all whites. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what that looks like. All these alternate uniforms this year, pretty cool. And then we got the big war weeks happening in the divisions, right? Bears, Packers, Steelers, Ravens, Jags, Texans. The Jags, Texans, or the Jags, Texans. Yeah, with that. Jags, Texans. I don't know what the Jags this weekend. Jags, Texans, or Jags, Colts. I want to say Colts. Easy way to find out. Look it up. So hard to keep track. Yeah, it's Jags Colts. That's gonna be a good game. Bengals Bills will be good this weekend. Got some stinkers too, but yeah, some really good games this weekend. So, but tonight we got the Lions and the Cowboys. Lions, you know, they're saying now that St. Brown's day to day. He might play tonight. If he does not play, it's all gonna have to be on JMO. And oof, I'm not so sure about that. Here comes Joseph. Waiting for his device to connect. Waiting for it to connect right there. I'll take it down. What is with the internet this morning? I'm telling you. All right, give Joe's account there a second. So yeah, big game tonight. Lions fans, how do you feel? You know, I have not seen Mitch lately. Is Mitch okay, Fred? Have you seen Mitch around? I know, you know, he's a Lions fan that was like on all the shows, and all of a sudden he's disappeared. Do we need to do a health and welfare on Motown Mitch? He has not been around for a bit. Yeah, he kind of ghosted, man. Kind of ghosted. Joe, man, I can't get your phone to connect, man. You're not connecting. I mean, the people don't want to see this big ugly mug by itself, man. I'm probably breaking TV screens all over the place. So yeah, I mean, this game tonight is going to be a close game. I think. I hope. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch a blowout. I mean, I know. Excuse me. I know Fred wants to watch a blowout, but yeah, I haven't seen. He usually. Other here's Joe. He usually came in via Facebook, but yeah, I haven't seen him lately. Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
What's up, dude?
Oh, getting ready for a game tonight. Tonight's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I forgot who's playing.
Lions and the Cowboys, and
Oh, that's right.
in Detroit, and Detroit's doing a whiteout, so they're wearing the all white uniform, white helmets tonight.
Huh. Well, this is a must-win game for both teams,
Yes, it is.
but only one of them can win. So this is gonna. This should be a dogfight.
I mean, if you look at the Cowboys this year, um, they played the Bears pretty decently. I mean, the Bears won that game. That was their biggest margin of victory of the year. But initially, they played the Bears pretty decently. We saw a lot of trick plays in that game from Ben. Uh, for the Week 3 win that kind of started us on this journey. Um, but then they played the Packers really good, took them to overtime, right? Um, then they beat Philly. They beat Kansas City. We can tie, but a tie isn't good enough. No, it's not good enough. You can't have a. You don't want to have a tie, Fred. Um, so Fred's like, look, he's nervous. He's like, we must win. We can win. I agree with them. They have to win. They can definitely win this game, but Detroit's. I don't know how to classify Detroit trending wise. It's easy for me to say, hey, the Bears are trending up, right? I mean, look at their last 10 games. They're 9-1. The Cowboys are trending up. If you look at their last couple victories, I don't know how to. Are the Lions trending up, trending down, treading water? Um, Tonight's game is like Joe versus Eric in an MMA fight. Well, that wouldn't be much of an MMA fight. I think Joe would kind of destroy Eric based on what I know of the two. So are you saying that one of these teams is going to destroy the other there, Steve? And Joe's in that in between period as he parks the truck and gets out of it, or his internet went down, or he's in the handoff. Um, Man, I don't know how to classify the Lions, man. I really don't. Because at points this year, the Lions to me seemed like they were the best team in football. Like I've actually said it a couple times. Like, okay, Steve is saying the Cowboys will crush the Lions. Whoa. Um, there were a couple times this year I actually said like the Lions look like the best team in football, and then they would come out right after I said that and do just something like stupidly bad, right? And so I don't know how to classify the Lions this year. I mean, they're a good football team, that much we know. Are they trending up? Are they trending down? Are they just a bunch of dysfunction? Their offensive play calling has been terrible the last couple weeks. Uh, I mean, Ben Johnson, with Ben Johnson being gone, I get it. We knew.
Stupid internet this morning.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
You know,
Ivan
my
coming off
my
X
biggest
says the
concern.
Lions.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ivan off X says the Lions will win today by 6 points. And sneak into the NFC Championship. Whoa, that's a take.
That's a
Um,
spicy meatball right there.
Hello, Eric. How are you? Hopefully, you're doing well.
My mind tells me that I don't know if the Lions have the firepower right now offensively to hang with them. Like, I know, JMO's great, like when he's on, and Gibbs is a beast, but it's like, Amon Ra's hurt. Like, you got a rookie Tesla, right? I mean, isn't Laporta hurt too? Or is Laporta back?
What is out? Yeah.
Laporta's out. That's what I'm saying. So you have no Laporta. You have no Amon Ra. Your number one receiver at this point is JMO. Like, whereas the Cowboys, they got CD Lamb and Pickens both healthy, right? Javonte Williams is having a career season, right? Um, and they got is Ferguson their tight end? Is his name Ferguson?
Yeah, I think that's the guy they got playing right now.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well too. So like, I man, you know,
I tell you, Eric Game 9 wanted to be shouted out. So there's your shout out, Eric. Welcome to the show this morning.
yeah.
Uh,
What's up, Eric?
you know,
I don't know if the
Fred,
Lions have the firepower, man.
I mean, Fred thinks that like they're regressing, right? That this is Lions trending last season versus current. We're regressing, but I sense I think is the word he meant. They're terrible. Um, maybe this year is stagnant would be the way. Yeah, Ivan is, or I'm sorry, Fred. This is correct. I heard that too. That he's a game time decision. But how much of that's gamesmanship versus reality? Because he's got the ankle and the hand injury. Um, yeah, okay, Gibbs is going to catch fire. But you need more than Jameer Gibbs, Ivan. I think that's what we're saying. Like, like Jameer Gibbs can go off great, but like if JMO isn't doing it, if Tesla doesn't step up, and the thing like that third pass for JMO, if he doesn't catch it, Goff just ignores him the rest of the game. Gotta get that's it's gonna be hard. Okay, well let's. I don't think Fred's trying to fight anyone, Eric. That's okay. um, yeah, can he really step up, dude? Like the dude's made some good catches, right? Some like one-handed grabs. Like, okay, wow, this kid's got some hands. I don't, it's the Lions. This is tough. Um, this is a
Yeah,
tough game tonight for them. Like this, like you said, this is a must win, and I think Fred's right. Like I'm not gonna run St. Brown out there and risk losing him for the season if I don't have to. I mean,
you just said it all right there, Ken. If you don't have to, but
yeah,
with honestly, you kind of do have to because this game, the season might come down to this game right here. Like you need every single one going forward just to stay in that division race. Like you know, and in the wild card race. I mean, look at the NFC West. Like there's a chance that they
three.
could put the Seahawks and the Niners, in there. So that leaves one spot left for the rest of the NFC. Like,
It's and defensively, like, yeah, Eric, or it wasn't Eric saying it. It was Steve said, man, with CD and Pickens, man, that's gonna be hard for Detroit to cover up on. And he's not wrong. And if that defense, and here's the thing, like Dak, we all know Dak will turn the ball over if you put pressure, but that defense, um, let me look for part one of your statement, Ivan. Sorry. You say I missed part of his statement. Let me go scroll back up. Sometimes, hey, Ivan, it might be that X didn't to add to that Gibbs. That's probably part two. Okay, if this is part one, he said the Lions will win by 6 points. Um, Sneaking the NFC Championship. That's the first thing I've got from him. And the second thing, then he says, add to that, Gibbs is gonna catch fire at the right time.
okay, so you got Gibbs.
So,
Good morning, gents.
good morning, broski.
What's up, broski?
Can they win on? Let's say Jameer Gibbs goes off today. Let's say the first play from scrimmage, they give the ball to Jameer. He runs 80 yards, touchdown. It's like, oh god, it's gonna be one of those games. Let's say he can go off. Does that really mean? Does that secure a Lions victory if Jameer Gibbs goes off tonight?
I mean, I think for the Lions to get into the playoffs, they have to go 4-1 the rest of the way. So, that's my 2 cents on that.
I think most Lions fans agree with you on that too. By the way.
Yeah, and it's gonna have to be a Gibbs, Jameson, Williams game for them to win. Because they're gonna have a tough time, I think, running up the middle. They might be able to get to the outside with Gibbs against that Cowboys defense, but like even the Cowboys defense, man, they're playing much better. And we know Dak likes to turn the ball over too, but Goff's usually good for a turnover or two as well.
Yeah, if they get
So,
pressure on them.
yeah. So, and here's the thing. I just found this out today. The Lions are starting a fourth string tight end, which means they have a fifth string tight end as their number two, like two guys from the practice squad. So
Kind
the
of like the
Lions,
Bears are our linebackers. You mean?
dude, their top three tight ends are out this game. I don't know if Glasgow's playing at center or not, but he's not good anyway. And obviously their backup's not that good. They're playing a scrubby guard.
Well, and here's the
It's
thing:
like, I don't know, man. They're gonna have a
Amon
tough
Ra's
time.
hurt. Even if they
you're,
put
you're gonna,
Amon Ra out there, he's not going to be 100%.
Broski, you're gonna laugh. Okay, so bear with me on this.
I like to laugh.
Don't laugh me out the room. But hey, the Cowboys defensive coordinator, the one team he had a little bit of decent luck against last year, as a defense or even as a head coach, Eberflus. He knows the
Hey,
line.
Ken, that's a good point. Ken, Eberflush has a lot of experience going against the Lions, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while he
Good
didn't
point.
always beat the Lions, even with teams that were not nearly as good as the Lions, he made those games good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's not
it's not Ben
forget.
Johnson calling plays anymore. It's the same
Yeah.
system, but it's not Ben Johnson calling plays anymore. So his level of opposition just went down.
And let's not forget
Eberflus's, I mean, right? Like he's
Yeah.
not going up against Ben Johnson as an offensive coordinator. He's going up against Johnny Morton as an offensive coordinator.
No, he's not even Johnny Morton. Dan Campbell's calling the damn calls.
Is he still calling the plays?
Yeah, he's still calling the plays.
Oh, okay. So he's going up against Dan Campbell, the play caller. Like, dude, it's.
And let's not forget, like their tight end, the Cowboys tight end Ferguson. He's one of the better ones in the league now. He's good.
I was just saying that Ferguson's
and their
coming
little
on.
running back combo, they have in Dallas is good. They have their own version of slash and bash or whatever you want to call it.
Broski, we knew offensively they were good because when we previewed the Bears Cowboys game way back in week 3, we knew that that was the thing. Like, hey, we need to watch out for their running game, and so we've known their offense was good. Now, when we play them, Pickens was only his third game. CD got hurt during our game, right? Went out during the game, and we beat up on the Cowboys. And then a couple weeks later, they played without CD Lamb, they played the Packers and tied them in that 40-40 game, which really they should have won that game. If Dak was like a half step faster, he avoids Micah Parsons getting him at the line of scrimmage as he's running for the end zone and probably gets in. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? So, I mean, we know they have a good offense. For the Cowboys this year, it's been their defense. But since they got the linebacker, what was that dude's name? I saw his name here. Yeah, Logan Wilson.
Yes.
Since they got him, and since they got Q, and now you've got with Kenny Smith in the middle there, which is they made the Micah Parsons trade. Why? For two reasons, right? If you listen to Jerry and believe him, one is they needed someone who was better on the run, and he's better in the run than Micah. Two, there was a financial aspect to it, right? They didn't want to tie up the Micah money that Micah eventually got in Dallas because, they just really couldn't afford it to some degree. So they made some moves. Then they trade away some of the picks, and they get Q in there, and now they've got these guys in the middle. That Q also, the thing about Q is he gets sacks, but he's great on the run, especially when you got another guy with him. So that defense has vastly improved since we saw them in week 3.
And Ken, let me add something to that. The Cowboys defense. So a player who Detroit cut at the beginning of last season, linebacker James Houston. He's come on strong for the Cowboys lately. He has like 4.5 sacks in like the last couple games for them. So he's going to be playing. He's going to have a hard on playing against the Lions. He's going to want to show them you shouldn't have cut me.
Here's a good question, fellas. St. Brown, if he's playing it healthy or healthy-ish, St. Brown and Williams versus CD Lamb and Pickens, which duo is the toughest to handle?
CD and Pickens.
Yeah, and another thing too, like the Lions have Smurfs playing cornerback. Literally, like DJ Reed and Amik Robertson are like 5'8", 5'9", and they're going to be trying to cover these 6'3" receivers.
Broski, there will be no Amik Robertson slander. All right, Amik Robertson is a good player, dude. As small as he is, that dude, he plays with heart, bro.
He plays with heart, but I saw
And
Watkins on the
he's an
Packers just
aggressive
make him
tackler.
look like a little Smurf.
I
Yeah,
mean,
He's
look,
gonna have a long
he's
game. He's
short.
gonna have a long night tonight. That's all I'm saying.
the
He's
only way you
short.
negate the only way you negate CD and Pickens is get to Dak a lot back and quick. Hutch has got to live. I think it was Fred. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Fred, you said it. He needs to live up to his contract today. He needs to get the Dak and get the Dak quick. Right? They need that front to get to him quick and not give those long plays time to develop. They need to make Dallas a short passing team, a running short passing team tonight is what they need. If they let Dallas stretch the field offensively, Dallas is going to run. They're going to just they're going to go up and down the field. I don't know if Detroit can match them in a shootout today. Like there are times this season, like I said, where I thought, like, dude, we all thought Detroit, wow, they look like the best team in the league right now. They look like they were last year's team. They're hitting on all cylinders. They had the run game, the pass game going. They had the defense was doing well, and now you get today. It's like we have so many friends that are Lions fans. You almost in one way feel bad, like going, wow, they have no hope. But the more we talk about this game, is like it's getting harder. I don't. It's getting harder for me to see a Lions win tonight. I guess is what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
The only way the Lions win is if they play with, what do they call it, grit or whatever, and they
Yeah,
just step up and play out of their minds. Like they're going to have to want it more, and they're going to have to want it a lot more.
Can you pull up Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams cap numbers for this year?
Cap numbers, yeah.
Yeah, their cap numbers for this year, their cap hits, and because I'm interested because in the off season when Jerry traded Micah, everybody in the world was looking at him like you're an absolute clown, right? Like
Right.
you're an absolute clown. And as the season has borne out, like depending on these cap numbers, I don't want to make this statement without knowing the cap numbers.
Kenny Clark's cap number this year is $3 million. Q is
Uh-huh.
8.3. Let me go to next year. For 2026, Q is 21.7, and Kenny Clark. I mean Kenny. Yeah. Let me see. Where'd he go? There you go. Kenny Clark is 21.5 next year as well.
Okay, more
Dak
expensive, but
Prescott.
they could
What Dak? Ooh, they're negative 47 million next year as of right now. But Dak Prescott's cap number 74 million. Let me see if they do a restructure on him. Yeah, if they do a restructure on him, they can save 30 million. They can save 20 million on a restructure with CD, 14 on a restructure with Q. Osa, however you say his name, 12 million. Tyler Smith, they can save 17 million on a restructure. They can do 6 million on Deron Bland. They can do another 9.6 on Kenny Clark. So they've got a lot of restructure money available, so they'll get under the cap. But yeah, go ahead with your point.
So you look at their cap numbers this year, right? So it's like 11 point something $million. Jerry turned Micah Parsons into Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark, plus an extra first round pick that they could use on an edge rusher next year. And that edge rusher's salary added in still won't equal Micah Parsons' salary. So he turned one player into three potentially contributing players. Like that trade is looking better and better for Jerry as time goes by. Like,
Yeah,
I just wanted to point out that Jerry may not be the clown that everybody thought he was, including me. I thought he was an absolute clown too, but you know,
I said, you know what though? I said the same. I've said the same thing over the last couple days since that trade, since the Q trade. Jerry looks smart now. We all clowned him. Everyone clowned him. Like, oh my god, you gave up Micah Parsons, and yeah, you got first round picks, so that's gonna be good for you. You got Kenny Clark. Okay, he's a good player, but he's no Micah Parsons, and you're gonna make the playoffs this year. And then he said, well, wait a second, guys, hold my beer. My offense is good. And the defense looked bad. Well, Eberflus' first season as defensive coordinator takes time for a new defense. Okay, fine. Then they go get Logan Wilson. Then they go get Q, and they still have that one of the draft picks left in the Parsons trade. And now, exactly, you're looking, going, fuck, that dude might know what he's talking about. He might have had a clue.
Honestly, it's called a trade for a reason. Like in theory, both teams you should both make out relatively within like a kind of range of each other that's kind of close. I
Mhm.
mean,
And
Parsons is elevating the Packers
yep,
defensive line and defense overall, and the Cowboys obviously, hey, they're making out pretty well from it as well.
They had to do a little bit of extra work to do it. But my point with that was that if you look at just the cap numbers, right? Like if they restructure with Q and with Kenny
oh
Clark
yeah,
next year, like realistically, Jerry could have rebuilt his entire defensive line for Micah Parsons. Like
pretty much.
when you frame it like that, it's like, was trading Micah Parsons worth it? If you could build a competitive defensive line with what you would have paid him, absolutely.
And Fred
Yeah,
makes a good point. Part of the thing was like they Marshawn Nealon, rest in peace. They were looking at him as a guy who was up and coming and could fill part of that void. Now, of course, we all know what happened to him. But that was part of the thinking at the time too. And so we can't forget, Nealon was an up and coming player that they had a lot of faith in as a player. Um, but you go back to Joe's argument, he might have been able to redo the entire defensive line for Micah Parsons.
yeah.
And look at the Packers without Micah Parsons, dude. I think they have at least two. Now, Lions fans last night, well, they would have two more losses against the Lions. Okay, but I think they'd also lost. Look, without Micah Parsons, they don't beat the Cowboys or tie the Cowboys when they beat them. They actually would have lost to the Cowboys, I think, in that game. They might have 3 or 4 additional losses to what they have now. Losing both. I don't know if they would have lost week 1. I'm sorry, Lions fans. I don't think you were winning week 1. You were just so dysfunctional that week. I think even the Packers would have beat you without Micah Parsons. He wasn't really by the time he got his sacks, the game was already decided. And Micah didn't play that much, but they probably lose. Green Bay probably loses 2 or 3 more games without Micah Parsons in the lineup this year.
Mhm.
So, so look at this one of those trades. I agree. I don't think you're going to say Green Bay won the trade or the Cowboys won the trade. But when we started this off at the beginning, when they made the trade, everyone's like, "Oh my God, Dallas just got."
Raped.
Packer fans running around like we just like robbed them blind. We just like totally, you know. Um, but it hasn't worked out that way. Like both teams, dude, they're both in the hunt. I mean, the Packers are in a little bit of better position right now to get in the playoffs. But given the other stuff that you had to do in Dallas with the new defense and everything else, Dallas was right in it. And I'll tell you what, Steve, one of the scariest teams in the NFC right now, honestly, if Dallas gets hot, if that defense keeps improving, and they get in the playoffs, I don't know if you want to play Dallas in the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
like
Dak,
very Bengals-ish of the
yeah,
past. You know how the Bengals would always get hot with Burrow at the end of the year, and you don't want to play them. That's like Dallas on the NFC.
good question. Who made the better trade? Dallas trading Micah or Rams trading for Stafford and Detroit getting Goff? Okay, well,
Too early to
that's a
say.
hard that's a hard question. Like, look at I mean, obviously you want to stay right off the bat. The Rams, they won the Super Bowl right away. They won a ring with Stafford. He gets there, boom, they win a ring. Uh, Stafford's MVP candidate this year. They're probably going to make the playoffs, right? If not win the
Yep.
Rams are
division.
the number one seed right now.
Well, no, they're number 2 seed right now behind
Oh,
the
are they?
Bears.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah,
I
come on.
forgot. You
Get
guys are
Joe, come
tied.
on, Joe.
You
Joe,
guys are
what are we
tied
doing,
in.
Joe?
You guys are tied in records. So I forgot.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know you guys had the tiebreaker over them.
Yeah, we do for a conference record and for something else, but yeah, we do.
Well, that's
But
awesome.
that's it. I mean, I think Stafford. Look, I think the Rams win that trade. If you want to say, I mean, look at the Lions did well by it too because they were able to get basically build the team they have right now based off Stafford, and they've been a very good football team with an NFC Championship appearance. Last year they dominated the NFL in the regular season. Of course, the playoff we know what happened against Washington. But Stafford wins that one. This Micah Parsons deal, it may just that one may be a wash. Right now, it's probably a wash.
Green Bay has to win a Super Bowl for it to even be close. in my opinion. Like they got to win a Super Bowl with Micah Parsons to make that comparison with the Stafford trade even
Yep, you're
comparable,
right
dude.
about that, Joe. I agree. That's why
Number
they did the
one,
trade. I mean, they
number
thought
one,
Parsons would be the guy to put him over the top.
and number two, like with what I just said about the Cowboys using that Micah Parsons trade to rebuild pretty much their entire defensive line, it's hard to argue that the Cowboys didn't win that trade at this point. I mean, granted, like they still have to, they still have a draft pick from the Packers that they, if I was the Cowboys in the offseason and during the draft, I would trade that next year's pick and this year's pick and try to move up and get Ruben Bain from Miami. If they could get Ruben Bain, the pass rusher from Miami, like that's a pretty formidable defensive line with Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and Ruben Bain. Like I would have to say at that point they win the trade.
Yeah, and bear down, Mike. I mean, I agree with you. The Rams win the trade on the golf Stafford deal because they won the Super Bowl right off the bat. I think I said that. But I mean, it wasn't a complete fleecing, right? Because the Lions did get a lot out of that trade, and look at it. Without that trade, would the Lions would we be? If they had kept Stafford, the Lions wouldn't be the team they are now. They wouldn't have all the pieces they picked up. So it was a good trade
Mhm.
for the Lions. It definitely worked out. It worked out for them. It worked out for the Rams because they got that piece they needed to win the Super Bowl. So I mean, the Rams win the trade, but it wasn't like they fleeced Detroit, and it wasn't like Detroit fleeced the Rams either. Now last year, some Lions fans would say, "Oh, we fleeced them because look at all the we got Hutch and blah blah blah, whatever." They did well, and then with this trade, like early on, Packer fans are full of themselves. Oh my God, we just fleeced Jerry. Jerry's a fucking idiot. Blah blah blah. But dude, like yeah,
Mhm.
Packers are we'll get to that. We'll get to that tomorrow probably on this Packers Bears game. Um, but more of trying to keep the emphasis more on tonight's game. This Micah Parsons trade. Everyone's like, oh my God, Packer fans are like we fleeced them. A lot of NFL fans are like, yeah, you kind of fleeced them. I mean, you got Micah Parsons, and they got what? Some draft picks and Kenny Clark, and no one gave Kenny Clark his due. Packer fans, last year would have told you, hey, Kenny Clark's really good. But when they traded him, of course, he was a bum. But he's played well in Dallas and done what he did in Green Bay. Green Bay, you add Quinn and Williams, and now they got for more. Look at the other piece of this trade for Jerry was this. Our run stopping ability sucked. Kenny Clark fixes that. And he kind of did a little bit by himself, but he needed more. Now you had Quinn Williams, who, oh, by the way, gets the fasters, sacks. But his real thing is he's really good in the middle of stopping the run. And then he creates a lot of pressure. So now you get those two, it frees up their edges. Their defense, and then Eberflus's defense is starting to take hold in Dallas a little bit. It's like, wait a minute, they're cooking with a little something now. Like Jerry
Yeah,
wasn't stupid.
you know what else, Ken? Kenny Clark, I don't even think he starts. I think he's like their first D tackle in the rotation. You know what I mean? I think they start some younger
Yeah.
guy now. He's got like some African last name or something. Kenny Clark plays a lot, but I think it's like that just shows how deep and solid like that Cowboys D line really is. Like yeah, they're not playing games right now, man.
They're a scary team if they get in. They are a very scary team. It's what Ivan said. So 2 first rounders for the they, well, I mean,
Yeah,
they got
that's what I'm
yeah, they
saying
got
is that they should give up their first round this year
okay.
and that Packers first round next year that they got for the Micah Parsons trade. It would essentially complete the Micah Parsons trade. But if they get Ruben Bain, who's projected to go top 5, that like to me that's a coup. Like I would say at that point, this is just my opinion, and I'm sure people will probably disagree. But my opinion is if they get Ruben Bain to add to what they've already added for Micah Parsons, they win that trade. That's just my opinion. What do you think about that, Broski?
So I'm gonna just stay focused on Bain for now. I'm not sure he's really an NFL defensive end. I don't know. I'm gonna do a lot more research because I always do on the draft and draft picks and stuff. I think he's a little too slow to be a good edge rusher in the NFL, but I'm gonna have to look at that a little more closely. But what you're saying, like in theory, like I do understand. And we'll never know. And you know what? Like it's just the truth. Like we're not going to know for another season or two, like who really made out in this trade. But Joe, you're making sense. Like I do see what you're saying.
I mean, and look, there were some Packer fans who were like, "We gave up nothing. Kenny Clark is nothing. He's a bum, and they should have gotten rid of him." I mean, there were some really happy Packer fans on that day. So yeah, there were Packer fans calling him a bum and saying he wasn't worth keeping on the Packers, and thank God he's gone. And there were some. I mean, look at we got some good Packer fans that watch this show too that are more level headed, and they're probably more like, "Hey, look, Kenny might have had a down year, but he's a good player." And there were some of those too. Okay, but I mean, look at across the league, everyone thought that Kenny Clark was kind of a throw in a little bit. Um, they gave Jerry a lot of shade for this trade, and you're right. This trade won't be completed till that other draft pick is used. But like where we are right now today, like, dude, it's not like far off. It's pretty even right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that the trade helped both teams right as of right
Yeah.
now. I don't see how anyone couldn't say that.
I mean, a trade's supposed to do that, right? It's not, I mean,
Exactly.
if you look at the Bears Carolina trade a couple years back, like it's starting to work out for Carolina right now, and it's starting to work out for the Bears right now. Like the Bears initially, it was like, oh my god, they won the trade because look at they got DJ Moore and they got all the 2 first-round picks, and that turned into Darnell Wright and it turned into Caleb Williams, right? And then they got Roma Dunze on top of it, and they've got some other good players that are on the roster a part of it. But dude, like Carolina's like fighting for a division title right now. The Bears are fighting for a division title right now. Now
Mhm.
we're at year 3 of this. The trade has been complete because all the draft picks have been picked. The players, have been moved around, and really this trade, which like we got lauded for like 2 years as polls fleecing Carolina, is really coming to the point where it's working out for both teams, which is what a trade is supposed to do.
Mhm.
Now, in the end, did the Bears get more talent out of that trade? Yes, they did, because there have been other moves, obviously, that have affected these trades. But I mean, look at for Carolina now, the trade's not looking so bad because Bryce Young is finally starting to play well. In fact, he played really well last week. And the Bears are, they're obviously a lot better this year. So I mean, that's what trades are supposed to do. Now, whoever wins the Super Bowl first will determine that as the winner, probably. But
Yeah, you know what's funny? I was literally just on a Panthers podcast talking about that trade because they were asking me what I thought about it, and I just went down like the list of who the Bears got in that trade, and they're like, "Yeah, that's a king's ransom." But needless to say, hey, you know what? Bryce is he? I can actually say now he is playing a little bit better, and their team overall is playing better. And like you said, they're in the playoff hunt right now. They could possibly win that division and make the playoffs.
I'm glad to see like some of these trades actually panning out for both teams. Like, that's what's refreshing to see is like you see these big time trades and nobody's getting fleeced. Like it works out for both teams. It makes both teams better. It's just good for the league when that happens. You know, it's like this team doesn't get robbed of their star player and now they're absolute garbage. Like, they take those picks and they flip them into good players. And now it's like both teams are thriving. Like I like to see trades like that.
yeah, it's the initial reaction is always how someone got fleeced, right? And look at the Poles trade with Carolina. I mean, you can look at. Okay, so Broski, you just said the list. So what's the complete list?
Yeah,
DJ
let me
Moore.
just name the list really quick.
Yeah.
They got DJ Moore, they got Darnell Wright, they got Tyreek Stevenson, they got punter Torrey Taylor, they got Caleb Williams, and they got Luther Burden for Bryce.
That's a really big haul, dude.
It's a really
Yeah.
big haul, and the thing is, it's working out for both teams in different ways.
Yeah.
Ivan asked, what if he wants 2 firsts? I want with a third, fourth, and fifth, or some combination. I mean, you got to look at what the price is to move up in the draft. So if the Cowboys would say are picking 22, 23, 20, 25, whatever, somewhere in there, and they want to move up to say number 4, the price is probably going to be 2 first rounders and a fifth, 2 first rounders and a fourth, maybe. So it's like not when I say 2 first rounders, it's a flip, and then next year's first rounder to move up, and that's probably it to move up. Now, if they want to go all the way to number 1, okay, it's more expensive, but you got to look at what the price is to move up in the draft. So if you're looking just if the Cowboys just want to move up from wherever they are in the draft, let's say they're hovering around 20 and they want to move up to 4, it's probably like, flip this year's first, give them next year, the Packers first for next year, and then maybe like a second, maybe something like that would get you done to move up to the top 5 in the draft around the 20s. That sound
Yeah.
about right, Joe?
Yeah, maybe even less than a second, maybe like a third.
Or yeah,
It just depends. Like I think a second is definitely probably what they would ask for, but you might be able to finagle a third. And like if you're the Cowboys, it just depends on, like Broski said, because Ruben Bain is kind of an intriguing prospect. Like he's very highly touted, but as Broski said, he doesn't think that he's fast enough to be a successful edge. It just depends. Like, do the Cowboys believe he is?
Yeah.
Like, do they
I
see
think
something that we don't?
twitchy is the word I was looking for. It's like a twitchy DN. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the bend, like a Miles Garrett
Yeah.
bend kind of. He doesn't have that elite bend or those elite twitch, fast twitch traits. That's a very valid point because to be a top 5 pick as a D end, like you gotta have those traits, man. If you're gonna pan
Yeah.
out, right? If you're gonna live
Yeah,
up to your draft spot.
Yep,
Hey,
and that
So
name that Steve dropped in the chat. Steve, thanks for doing that. That's the defensive tackle on the Cowboys. I was trying to think of
Osa.
Osa Aga Uga Baga or whatever his
Yeah.
name is. Yeah, he's
Hey,
actually a beat. He's a monster.
hey, Fred's doing a little bit of this right now. Taking shots at the Vikings while they're down with the Neil Hunter trade. How'd that work out for them? Look at them. They had a lot. It worked out. You know what though? It probably worked out okay for them. They've had a lot of injuries. They've got a really good edge rusher who's been hurt this year, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, not all trades work out, but they're supposed to, right? I think wouldn't it be something? Well, I mean, it can't happen, but not this year with the way they're set right now. But if you got a Packers Cowboys playoff game this year, that would be interesting to see how that pans out. The second meeting, after the tie. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know
with
who
Quentin
wins that game.
Williams now. Ooh,
Yeah,
it would be more interesting. And my thing was like just looking at the raw numbers, like the cap numbers and everything. Uh, yeah, Ivan. I mean, if it was a third or a fourth, yeah, if I absolutely had to give up a second, and I believed that Bain was going to be a game changing defensive end, yeah, absolutely, because you're going to have him on a rookie contract making 10 million a year. Then next year, you literally only need to restructure either Quinnen Williams or Kenny Clark, and you would have for the same price that you would be paying Micah, you'd be paying Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, and Ruben Bain. So yeah, you turned one elite player into potentially 3. Well, I won't. I'll put them in different classes. Quinnen Williams, in my opinion, is an elite defensive tackle. Ruben Bain has the potential, uh, allegedly, to be an elite defensive end, and then Kenny Clark is a serviceable to good defensive tackle. So you turned it into
So,
one good player and 2 potentially great players.
so what? So for Steve's question, was the Parsons trade the biggest trade of the year, or is there another one? And good morning, JB.
I
Is that
mean,
the biggest trade of the year? Is the Parsons trade? I mean, I would have to say yeah.
for what they gave up, I think so. But I
The
mean,
Pickens
I don't
trade's
know
big
because
too.
Sauce Gardner was a pretty big trade too, in my opinion. Like the Colts took on a huge contract. Like Sauce just signed that contract. They took on a huge contract and gave up 2 first-round picks for Sauce. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the biggest trade in like how it's going to pan out for the Colts, but they just leveraged or they just put a lot of chips in the middle to go get Sauce Gardner. So to me, that's a
This,
huge trade too.
so JB brings up Diggs we heard about last night being out. I mean that helps Detroit tonight for sure. With the injuries that Detroit has, yeah, Dallas
What
is without.
positions are those guys?
Diggs is the corner. Guyton is Guyton.
Is it 2 corner? Are they both corners?
Let me pull up.
Who were the players? I saw
Guyton,
Diggs.
yeah,
Diggs and
Guyton.
Guyton.
Guyton isn't Guyton a wide receiver?
I don't know.
I thought
Yeah,
Guyton was like a
I never
third
No,
heard of
he's
wide
an
Guyton.
receiver.
offensive tackle. He's an
Offensive
offensive
Okay.
tackle.
tackle.
He's been ruled out. He's got a
Okay.
ankle injury. Diggs is out on IR. Well, they put him on IR.
Diggs
Start
is a
that.
feast or famine corner anyway, though. He's either going to get a pick
Yeah.
or he's going to get torched. So
Yeah.
And
One thing
then
the Cowboys have done
Clowney,
well also is they have built a
Clowney's,
nice O line.
Clowney is questionable for tonight, and Malik Hooker, their safety, is also questionable.
Yeah, I'll tell
So
you what though, Ken. So those
yeah,
are two guys that, well, I guess we kind of touched on James Houston, but Clowney in Houston, man, those guys, Clowney, Houston, and that linebacker they got. I mean, as well as that Quentin Williams trade, man. My goodness, man, all those guys have been coming on strong the last few weeks, man.
mhm.
now the Lions tonight out: Kirby Joseph, safety; Khalif Raven, wide receiver; Brock Wright, tight end; Shane Zeitz, Zalstra, tight end, out.
Yeah, he's their third tight end. Yeah,
Brian Branch is questionable. Taylor Decker is questionable. Glasgow, questionable. Sewell, questionable. St.
Oh,
Brown, questionable. Yeah.
I mean Taylor Decker, I got to give that guy some credit. I have no idea how he's suiting up every week. I'm going out there, man.
So I
He's got a
mean,
bad neck, a bad shoulder, a bad knee, a bad everything. Like,
they're just shooting him up with Toradol and like, go make it happen, Captain. Like,
you're
but
not kidding.
yeah, dude, like that. I mean, that's what they do. They shoot you up with Toradol, and let me tell you, Toradol is some amazing shit, dude. Like
So is Bolivian
it's
Flake.
so
Toradol,
you
like
know,
for pain, is incredible, dude.
look at Guyton being out. We know where Hutch is going to go. He's going to be on the left side tonight because if they're all pro left tackle out. You know, he's going to. That's where Hutch is going to be. So Hutch. Look at Hutch needs to get the Dak quick tonight. So if he can't get the Dak quick tonight with a backup left tackle in, right, then the
Yeah.
Lions will have issues. If he can get to Dak and make Dak uncomfortable, make Dak make bad throws, maybe throw a pick or two or fumble the ball on a strip sack or something, life might be okay for the Lions if their offense is humming along. If they can get the running game going, which they've got the running game. Um, if they can get if St. Brown is in as either a distraction and makes a play or two, or is in as a distraction and makes it so other guys get easier receptions and that offense can move the ball. Detroit's got a chance tonight. So we're not saying Detroit does not have a chance,
Yeah.
but it does not look good for Detroit just on the outside looking in a little bit. You're like, ooh, this is going to take. The Lions kind of put themselves in a position. This is a little bit of an uphill battle, and this is a must-win game for them.
Yeah. And fun fact, and JB can check me on this, but the Lions defense has only had 4 sacks in the last 4 games.
Dude, Hutch was like not good. All right, Fred. Good to see you, brother.
Shout out Fred.
Yeah, we'll see you in the morning, of course. Tomorrow morning we'll be talking about what happens tonight. John's saying, well, Hutch hasn't been the same since he got paid, and maybe there's a little truth to that. But like last week, where was he? Against the Packers. I mean, this is going to be. He has to. See, I hate these kinds of things. I know what JB's going. I hate these kinds of stats because okay, great, they scored 351. 51 of those points was against the Bears in week 2 when the Bears couldn't even define the word defense. So
Yeah.
I mean, those are great stats. Don't get me wrong, but when I look at what's going on, I rather look at okay, what have the two teams done the last 3 or 4 weeks? Let's go more recent because like weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 are so long ago. These teams are so different than they were, at the beginning of the year. Because if I went
And
off the stats counting the very early part of the year, I'd be like, well, the Lions have a shot after week 1, right? And obviously, that week 1 was not indicative of what they are because then they turned around like, wow, they're probably the best team in the NFL. So I don't I get these season long stat kind of things, but it's like, okay. both teams are 2-2 in the last 4 weeks. And for the Cowboys, man, their last 2 games were 2 very impressive wins. Whereas the Lions went 1-1. Um,
Yeah, JB's overlooking the fact that Brad Holmes didn't do anything at the trade deadline again, and the Cowboys did, and that's the reason why the Cowboys are catching fire, and one of the reasons why the Lions are going in the other direction.
I just, when I look at this game, I just don't think, based on the injury report, that the Lions have the firepower offensively to match up with the Cowboys. So yeah, Hutch is going to have to play out of his mind, I guess. But to me, it's the matchup of the game. To me, is how is the Lions secondary going to handle Pickens and Lamb? Like they're the ones to me that have to play out of their minds, dude.
hey,
Like
wait,
especially if Brian Branch is questionable, like that's a huge loss.
hey,
But
He hasn't been
quickly,
playing that good this year anyway.
hold on. Fred goes, stupid autocorrect. I said that I had to put the pads back on and head to Detroit. I might have a chance to get on the field. So he doesn't have to leave. He was saying, no, he needs to go to Detroit with the pads on because he might actually get some game time with the way the injury report is.
Branch played all right last
Fred's
week
gonna be
against
playing
Kansas
some
City.
blocking tight end. He's gonna be a blocking tight end.
Yeah.
Branch played all right last week against Kansas City. Like maybe he's not having a career year, but my point is, to me, the matchup that, like, I think the Lions have to really play out of their minds in their secondary just to be able to keep Lamb and Pickens from both having 100-yard games, dude.
Look, at the line right now is 3, which is the home team. You get 3 just for being the home team. So basically, even Vegas, and I hate the Vegas odds, especially when it comes to any NFC North team because they're always off. But I mean,
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
at this point of the year, if you're questionable, 90% of the time they play. This is true because look at the Bears injury report. I think all those guys are going to play at this point of the year. Everyone's nicked up and questionable. But I mean, this is a harder game for the Lions, and I think a lot of Lions fans care to admit or would like to admit because you looked early in the season, you're like, okay, the Cowboys, after the trade, they suck and this, that, and yeah, but we all like, go, ha ha, Packers, you tied them after the Bears destroyed them. But you look at what Dallas has done since the trading deadline, and what the Lions have not done, and then
Exactly.
the injury reports and stuff like that. I mean, look at if St. Brown plays, St. Brown is not St. Brown. You know what I mean by that? Like he's going to be on the field. He's going to create double teams. You have to respect him. But dude, he's got an injured hand, which was already bugging him. Now he's got a bad ankle, so they're going to tape the fuck out of that. But he's battling 2 injuries. He's not going to make all those great plays that he normally makes. He still may make a good play or 2, but he's not. He's diminished, and that offense is diminished. No Laporta diminishes them.
Sewell is questionable, right? Like
Yeah,
Sewell already wasn't having a season like he had last year, and that's healthy. So now he's questionable, which means he's going to play, but he's going to be diminished as well, in my opinion, right? Like
Joe, you're right. They're both their tackles have been banged up since about week 3.
And look, I think that's where St. Brown is going to be very effective, is using him as a decoy. And then you better hope that JMO has a good game. Because if JMO on that third pass drops it or whatever, runs the wrong route, and then it's like, oh, I'm just going to ignore JMO like Goff tends to do. If JMO's third play is trash, then crap. Then now it's like, okay, now he's going to focus on Tesla, which Lions fans may actually like that because you can show out this kid's a good receiver. But like I said, this is a game that I think the Lions fans, even the most diehard ones like JB, are very concerned about because they've put themselves in a bad position with the way this season has gone. And this is not going to be an easy game at all. And it's a game that they very well could lose at home tonight. And I hate to say this, but be it for the first time in 3 years that they lose back-to-back games. It could happen tonight.
Yeah, and to that point, I think Dan Skipper is going to be playing tight ends tonight, like blocking tight end a lot.
Oh, that was stupid. What did I say? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Branch, I don't know. I made a mistake. I said Branch played good against Kansas City last week, but they played the Packers, it was the Cowboys that played the Chiefs. But I didn't think Branch played that bad last week. But again, being questionable is it means he's diminished, and
I
that's
mean, but
another
like if
thing
Pickens
is like,
is diminished, okay, maybe that washes out a little bit. But dude, I'm telling you what, the keys for success tonight for the Lions is Hutch. Defensively, it's Hutch. With them having a backup left tackle in, he's got to get to Dak and make Dak make bad decisions
Yep,
quick and fast. If
absolutely.
they are giving Dak time, I don't care how strained the knee is. He's still got CD. He's still got a good tight end. They still got a good running game. If they are not getting pressure on Dak and they give Dak time, Dak is going to cook. And
yeah,
conversely, look at the Cowboys defense that we've been lauding them a little bit, but if they give Goff time, I don't care that Dan Campbell's playing the calls. Dan Campbell's play calling really isn't horrendous until it gets to be fourth down, but they do move the ball. If they give Goff time, then they can move the ball. And also, we got a shootout in Detroit tonight. But just the thing that's like the fact that we're even having this discussion about how this is not going to be an easy game for Detroit, how they are in real danger of losing back-to-back games for the first time in 3 years, is very telling of how their season has gone in Detroit. They are not what they were. They're having some dysfunctionality in their offensive play calling. They're having injury issues again this year. And the Broski's point, Brad Holmes did nothing at the trade deadline. Now, I've pushed back on that argument some, saying, well, look, if there was nothing for them to do at the positions they needed, there was nothing for Brad Holmes to go get. And I still stand by that, because like going to go get another left tackle, if there isn't another left tackle worth paying for just to go get a left tackle, I wouldn't do it either. Um, and Broski just had a work call. So, I mean, I get that, but Broski's not wrong. They didn't make any moves.
hmm
They did not make any moves. Dorn is saying Cowboys by double digits. Wow. JB's in the studio. 'Cause remember, JB follows us right after this show. Um,
I think also the Lions injury report is going in the wrong direction for this time of the year. Like, you want right now is when you want to start getting healthy and getting like ready for December football, right? And it
right.
seems like the Lions injury report is like getting lengthier every week, and that's not a good sign. Like, that's not good, you know. It's like, yeah,
I mean,
your guys are playing. They're questionable, but they're playing, but they're diminished. And every week that you trot them out there to play hurt, they're not getting healthy. Like, and you can't
I don't
rest them
want
at this point because you need every win that you can get.
I don't want to rule the Lions out tonight because the Lions, I think, are going to play hard. Dan
Yeah,
Campbell is a great motivator. Um, this is just a lot tougher game than it should be for the Lions.
yeah, and I'm not trying to act like the Lions have no chance. Like I said, I don't think that they have the firepower right now. Like, if the Lions were healthy, like, that would be a phenomenal game. If Amon Ra is completely healthy and they got Laporta against that
Yeah.
Cowboys offense, that would be an absolute dogfight,
And look,
right?
they've still got a great running game, and I don't want to, look at Gibbs and Monty. That's still
Yeah,
something that Dallas has, and even with Q and Clark, look at they're not the end all. They're going to get beat too. If Jameer Gibbs goes off tonight, if Detroit can establish that running game and run at will, then Detroit will get a nice convincing win, possibly. But
yeah, they're
just the
gonna have
fact that
to.
we're having this discussion today tells me, wow, the Lions really they got some work to do this offseason. They need to fix a few things. They're still a very good team, don't get me wrong. But if they lose this game, their playoff chances really just took a massive hit.
hmm
And that's gonna make week 18 against the Bears really mean something, which is great for the NFL. This is what the NFL wants.
Jameer
So
Gibbs is gonna have to have a career game tonight.
I don't know if he's gonna have to have a career game, but he's gonna have to have a really good game. And guys, we're gonna talk about the results of tonight. Tomorrow, Joe and I will be back. Ken is probably still gonna be out. We won't see Ken probably till Monday. Hope Ken that everything's going well over there.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about the game tonight's game tomorrow, and then we'll have the preview of the weekend, which has got some big games: Bears, Packers, Ravens, Steelers, Jags, Colts. There's some big games. Yeah. Look, we're looking the chops. This is gonna be a good weekend. So everyone enjoy your Thursday. Stay warm out there. I know some of you are getting snow, it's getting cold. Hell, it's even cold down here in Florida. So everyone have a great day. JB is next for Joe and myself. Thank you. And Broski, thanks for being with us today. And we'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.